DIRT, Directed Improvement and Reflection Time. So what is DIRT? DIRT is a period of guided reflection time where students explicitly address their targets and improve their work. How does DIRT work? Before handing work in, students use their red pen to proofread for accuracy and to explain how they have met the success criteria. When teachers mark work, they should suggest improvements, ask questions, and set tasks to narrow the gap. When students are peer assessing, students should refer to success criteria and be honest and specific in their response. When work is returned, students should use all or part of a lesson to make improvements, answer questions, and complete tasks using red pens and/or dirt sheets. And finally, when marking again, teachers should acknowledge the red pen improvements. Have students close the gap. If not, further targets and support will be needed. What is the impact of DIRT? Time spent assessing is useful and highly impactful. DIRT accelerates student progress. Students are able to develop the accuracy of their work and improve proofreading skills. Students are able to clearly see their progress. Exercise books and folders become a valuable tool for an academic dialogue. DIRT supports lesson planning and allows teachers to structure their assessments. Differentiation is highly personalised, and students feel that their work is valued.
Take a look at our sheets in front of us right now. So, generally, I was quite happy with everything. If you look on the board, question 1 and 2 was done quite well, 3 not so well. Alright, so if we all take a look at the marks that we got for part A.
Absolutely, all subjects can definitely use DIRT and incorporate it into their curriculum. It's an excellent resource for all students to reflect both positively and, crucially, to improve their work. So some people would be very sceptical about its use in practical subjects such as PE, catering. However, it does not necessarily always have to be in the written format that it is in some of the humanities and English-based subjects. Okay? DIRT can be used in a variety of formats, both verbal and written, but it can be applicable, and its use is definitely worthwhile around the academy.
Boundaries, more or the majority are located in Europe. So I needed that extra point to say they are mostly concentrated in somewhere, or you could have also said they are not located somewhere else as well.
So no, DIRT definitely doesn't mean more marking whatsoever. What it actually means is more effective marking. Okay, people are very sceptical about the fact that it could just increase the volume of workload, which is always a concern for all of us as teachers. However, what it means is rather than doing the traditional tick and flick, which many of the students don't find beneficial, they actually get a direct response with an actual target that they can tangibly use to improve their work. So it's much more beneficial for students to actually have a DIRT sheet with those specific targets to enable them to work both independently and in line with your feedback as well. So for example, in a Year 11 lesson, you may do direct exam feedback. So you may read through the mark scheme and talk about where the marks are distributed, whereas for a Key Stage 3 assessment, you may just have a set 3 or 4 targets just on the top of the DIRT sheet that students can instantly see relates to specific sections of their assessment, and then they can go working from that.
Right, so this is the big one where we need to make some massive improvements in a second. So like I said, don't want you to do the improvements just yet, just go through it and then we'll go from there. I do have an example for you to look at. So, Scott, read out the question for me.
Explain why some mountain regions are colder and drier than others.
Okay, 2 important things, okay? Break it into 2 sections. Why they are colder and why they are drier.
So the use of the red pen can be used for a variety of different functions within the lesson. One of the most basic and easiest ways to use it is to correct spelling and grammar. This is something that we would always be doing and highlighting when we're doing general bookmarks, both in the bookwork but also assessments as well. So in line with the Hazeley Academy marking policy, students can then use their red pen to correct spelling and grammar mistakes when they have time dedicated to do their dedicated improvement and reflection time. It can also be used for peer marking. So students can use the red pen in order to improve. Once you've given them a specific success criteria or a mark scheme for them to utilise, students can then go through the work in detail and add in the different sections where they need to improve from. Okay, so for example, I may have had 2 Year 11 students swap their books over after they did a 6-mark question in geography, and they'll have a copy of the mark scheme and they will peer assess each other's work, and in red they can bullet point, okay, this is where you lost your 2 marks, and this is how you can, most importantly, this is how you can gain those 2 marks. And then the books will be passed back over and students can then improve their work again in the red pen. Finally, it can be used directly for assessments as well. So on the specific dirt sheets that most subjects now use, there is usually a box dedicated for student response. That is an ideal opportunity for them to actively improve their level or grade, depending on which key stage they're working at, and then that work can be brought back in. There should be a box at the bottom that says teacher review, and then teachers can then actually assess to what extent students have improved their level. Okay, and I know, for example, in my Key Stage 3, students are really look forward to getting that assessment back and seeing, okay, I was at a 5.9, but then I've listened to what Sarah said, and I've actively improved that work to get all the way to 6.3, and now I'm working at my mag, but most importantly, I know what I need to do to get to that mag for my next piece of work. And that way it's a great resource to utilise to show their improvement over time.
Could have been tightened up a little bit better in terms of the westerly winds and the easterly winds rather than the hemispheres. Maybe a little bit generous by giving 4 marks there. Okay, but we're well on the right track. Okay, he's correctly identified that it's that diagram we need to think about when we're doing that explanation. I'm happy with the altitude and the air going thinner. Pretty much everybody got 2 marks for that section, but that bottom section we need to spend some time on. Okay. So, within the next 6 to 7 minutes, we should have a full 7 out of 7 answer. If you've got space on your sheet, you can just red pen directly on. If not, you can glue it in and do the red pen on the next page after. Any questions? Josh, just repeat back what we need to do so I know that you understand.
We have to use our pen to improve on the marks we missed with our feedback and our A3 sheets.
Superb, okay. And if you're stuck, what are you going to use?
The textbook.
Or?
A3 sheets.
A3 sheets, superb. Okay, off you go.
So the use of dirt has really impacted teaching and learning for me in a very positive way. It definitely isn't a drain on time. What I've actually found that it does is it actually makes your lessons and specifically that feedback time during lessons much more efficient. Okay, by using those specific targets on the dirt sheet, the majority of students can just come straight in and know exactly what they need to improve on and can use that. So they actually become much more independent learners. But most importantly, I've noticed across the academy that the learners are becoming much more reflective in terms of what they need to improve. Okay, students will constantly question in class, well, is this a level 6 or does this reach a C grade? Okay, they're much more aware of what skills they need to reach certain levels and grades, both at Key Stage 3, 4 and 5. So I think it's giving ownership over to the students of what they need to do to be successful in any given subject.
Probably the main benefits we get from this red pen is that it can help us improve our exam technique. So looking at various different marks, so from 6 markers to 12 markers, we can see in which areas we need to improve on, whether that be our structure or the actual information we're putting into their questions. This was done on all of our subjects across the board. I think it improved our grades on and all because as we're repeatedly doing it, we're learning all the exam techniques as they can go into different subjects, and as it comes to the exam we'll be so used to the techniques that we're being told to do through our feedback and then improving on. We'll be used to it so much it'll just come naturally to us, therefore like improving our exam results. The dirt sheet works in the fact that we will break down every question that we've done in the exam, and we'll look back on that and our teacher will tell us which questions we need to look back on. Then using the box here we will go through it with a red pen and improve it using either a textbook or an information sheet the teacher's given us.